Hey, welcome everyone. How we doing? Doing good. All right. Rob, Daniel, I'm glad you're here, bud. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Hey, just
Fantastic.
real quick, are you good for the top of the hour? I mean, for the bottom of the hour?
I am. Yes, I pushed the other meeting back just 15
Thank you,
minutes,
sir.
okay? But I'll be
Thank
there.
you.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, gang. Welcome.
Want to make me co-host?
I will. Let's do that. Jennifer Hayes trying to get in here several times. All right. So gang, welcome to our every Tuesday mastermind session. It's called Accelerated Breakthrough. I got my buddy right here, literally buddy. The elf is here with me today. So I love that movie, by the way. So we do this every Tuesday, gang. We call it Accelerated Breakthrough because we want to help you accelerate your breakthrough. So we're going to talk about whatever you choose to talk about. This is a true mastermind where we're going to talk about what's going to move you forward in your business. And Rob, if you wouldn't mind babysit the waiting room for us, I think we're going to have a small group today because most realtors, nobody on this call, of course, yet most realtors turn into pumpkins on October 31st. We all get that. So we're going to have a small group today. It's all
Hey,
good.
Sean, before
Yep.
you start, I just want to make sure that we are here next week. And what about the 26th, the day after Christmas?
Yeah, no calls between Christmas and New Year's. This is a time that I get to unplug and reflect and look back upon the year and the things we did right, the things we did wrong. I really like to take that time and really prep for the following year. So I hope that's okay.
But we will be here next week.
We will. Yes,
Okay.
definitely. All right. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. All right, gang. So first and foremost, before we just dive into our curriculum today, let's talk through some wins. Tell me something good that's happened over the course of the last week or two for you. Talk to me. Did you sign a buyer agency contract? Did you get a new listing? Did you place property under contract? Come on, guys, talk to me. What's working?
Well, I did a rental, three
Oh,
bedroom.
fantastic. Well, hey, that is all good, Simon. Congratulations, man. You know what that is?
That's winning.
It's winning, baby. I love it when you're winning. That's
All right.
fantastic. But I'll digress just for a moment. Sadly, we missed our flight yesterday coming home from San Diego. We've got a beautiful beach house out there right on Mission Beach, right on the boardwalk, right on the sand. I mean, it's a gorgeous place. And yet we missed our flight because TSA just really messed everything up. So bottom line, we decided, well, we're going to go back to the beach. And we hung out there for like another 4 hours and came back, caught the next flight. Yet they lost our bags. That was fun. So we got in at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I need your energy today, guys. Got in at 2 o'clock in the morning. My first call was at 7 a.m. and my eyes are bloodshot. I'm just exhausted. And so I need your energy today. I need you to kind of pour into the group with me if that's okay. Because this is a true mastermind. We're gonna really focus on improving your production. And yet, I think the teacher always learns more than the student. I think you would agree with that. So I want you to put yourself today in a position to teach. And I want to talk about, well, what's working in the pipeline phase of your business? Remember, it goes from foundation, knowledge, skills, mindset, and habits to pipeline, everything you're doing proactively or reactively to identify and then earn the business of the buyer and seller prospects in the marketplace today. And from pipeline, we get to momentum. And from momentum, it's about leverage. So 4 categories of leverage: models, systems, technology, and people, to finally reach the pinnacle, which is mastery. And yet it'll take you 10,000 hours to master anything. So to me, it's a lifetime journey. I feel like the more I know, the less I know. How do you feel about that, Rob?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, there's always a different and better way of doing things. So what's working for you in today's market to generate buyer leads? Let's start on that side of the fence first, then we're going to shift over to seller leads. What's working for you right now? Buyer leads. Come on, guys. Is it open houses? Is
Yes.
it direct? Okay,
Yeah,
Lance.
for me, it's the
Okay,
open houses.
Okay, so open houses. Let's talk about that open house strategy. And I want to share with you guys just a couple of tweaks to the traditional open house that's going to make all the difference. Number one, if you have not investigated some technology to assist you, I would encourage you to do that. Like a great example is Open Home Pro. It's an app you can download right to your tablet. You get a little stanchion that it's placed on, And then you do a laminated sign beneath saying, please complete the survey before touring the open house. So let the sign do the heavy lifting for you on this. Now, when they put in their contact information, their first and last name, email address, and phone number, the moment they hit submit through an API integration or Zapier, you can have it go right into your CRM tool, whatever you're using. Is it KV Core? Is it Follow Up Boss? What is that CRM tool? Yet it integrates automatically right into that tool. And then you set up your tags. It will immediately send them a text message, an email. It will launch an automation that will follow up with them for months and months and months. Yet beyond that technology aspect, I want to share with you just a couple of minor tweaks to the traditional open house. First off, I would encourage you to preview every other property for sale in close proximity. Take copious notes, guys. I mean, just write down everything that you see, everything you can. You see, when we write things down, we tend to remember more about it, right? So preview every property a couple of days before your open house. Then contact the listing agent and say, listen, I'd like to set a showing on your property. And let's say you're doing your open house from 12 to 3 on a Saturday. I'd like to set a showing on your property, your listing, from 12 to 3 on Saturday. Now, I might show it to 10 people. I might show it to 3 people. I might not show it to anyone. Yet I just want the opportunity to switch them from my open house to go over and take a look at your listing. Would that be okay? Now, 90% of the time, you'll get it approved. Now, the next tweak, I want you to bring your lender to the open house with you.
Yeah, but hey, Sean, real quick question on that. I mean, do you leave the open house?
That's why I want you to bring your lender to the open house with you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. It's a smart question. And you saw exactly where I was going, right? So here's what happened. A buyer comes in, and what I want you to do is I want you to be really curious, okay? Meaning your question to statement ratio should be at least 10 to 1 question over statement. So they come into the open house and you're just focused at this point on motivation. What's the emotional triggers behind the purchase? For example, you'll ask questions like, how does this home compare to others you've seen? Because they're looking at other homes, no doubt about that. How would you rate this on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the perfect home and 0 being we're nowhere close to the mark? How would you rate that? Say, well, I give it a 6, right? So what would you change about this home to bring it to a 10 on a scale from 0 to 6? Let's say, well, Sean, we need a bigger backyard, or, we need a bigger kitchen, or, we're looking for a home with a pool. Whatever they tell you, based on your knowledge now of the market, because you previewed all other properties, you got showings set up on that. Say, well, listen, this home you're describing, this one over here at 123 Main Street actually fits your needs a little bit better. I wonder, do you have just 5 minutes right now? Let's run over and take a quick look at it. Now, guys, this is going to take some posturing with the seller as well. There's so many recording devices inside of homes these days. I mean, they might be videoing you. They might have a nanny cam or something like that. So you've got to posture with the seller and let them know that you're going to be holding all homes open that day. See, your job is to sell that seller's property. No doubt about that. And yet, who do you want showing those other properties? Obviously, the one who wants to sell your property. Would you agree with that? Otherwise, they're going to just call the listing agency. All buyers buy through comparison shopping. I have never met a buyer, you guys, and I've sold thousands of homes. Never met a buyer who said, I just want to look at this one property, Sean, I want to buy it, and I'm done. They don't do that. It might have happened with you. It's never happened with me, with over 4,000 home sales. All buyers buy through comparison shopping. So you're going to set showings on all other properties in close proximity to the listing you're holding open during the hours of your open house. Now, you'll just leave the lender at the open house. They'll babysit the open house while you run out and show these other properties. Because I've sold more homes that way than any other way. When I was a buyer's agent, that is. So any thoughts, questions, concerns, challenges? Now, again, I don't want this to be the Sean Kokoska talking show. I want you all to participate, okay? Now, the next tweak to the traditional open house that I want you to make is I want you to bring a laptop and a lightweight printer or a tablet that can connect, through Bluetooth to your printer, whatever. Yet the reason for that is I want you to do live MLS searches right there with them and for them. A lot of people say, well, I'll do that. I'll do it on my phone, or I'll do it on my tablet and I'll just show them the screen. Guys, there is something just so magical about having that tangible piece of paper. I'm telling you, because I tried it with the tablet, I tried it with a cell phone. I've got two sons that are both licensed in selling real estate, and they've tried it with the tablet and cell phone, and it is 10 times less effective than printing out a piece of paper. Okay. My boys that are 24 and 23 years old, they'll tell you the exact same thing. So you'll do a live MLS search for them. Now I'm going to encourage you not to take no for an answer. In fact, don't even ask the question other than, well, I'll tell you what we should do. Let's step over to my laptop. I'm going to do a live MLS search for you. I'm going to print off a list of every property that matches your specific and custom search criteria. So tell me, how many bedrooms do you need? And you just simply start typing it in. Do not give them the option, would you like for me to do this for you? No, just do it. See, the so tell me assumes a yes. Would you like is a yes or no question. And it doesn't work in sales, guys. It doesn't. So then I want you to do a live MLS search. I want you to plug in all the criteria, and I want you to print off the list. So let's say there's 8 listings that match their specific search criteria. Well, then you'll print all 8 of them off and then review them with them. So tell me, which makes your A list? These are the properties you want to see the inside of, and you just walk through it with them. You can also share your screen and show them virtual tours. You could, show them floor plan, whatever the case is. And let's say out of the 8 you printed off, there are 3 properties they want to view the inside of. Okay, let me just ask, how easy is it to then set an appointment? That is the easiest way to set appointments with buyers, right? To do a live MLS search. See, when you can just position yourself to possess something that they want, well, then you're in the driver's seat. You're in the driver's seat. And you can then set an appointment. So we're going to segue after Rob's question here, yet we're going to segue into the how to set appointments. So Rob, we'll go to you first, then over to Sandy. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to bring up something just a little bit different, still with open houses, but just something a little bit stranger, and see what everybody's thought is on this. Okay. What about we did them during the pandemic? We did a version of it. What about virtual open house, meaning that, or Zoom open house, something like that? Well, okay, so you got out of town buyers. You've got, like down in Florida, you've got your snowbirds, and it's alive. You're inside the open house, and yet you're inviting people from everywhere to be able to come to this open house.
Rob, I love it. I love the idea. I've never done it personally. So I'm curious, is there anybody on the Zoom meeting with us today who is doing that? I think it's brilliant.
I heard. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jack.
I heard in China, that's how they sell home now.
In China?
Mm-hmm. Like, they sell stuff on TikTok and stuff and try to sell product. I heard they do that with real estate right now.
Well, there's a lot of things come out of there first and then comes over here. So I guess we better get braced and get ready for something like that.
Wow.
Well, listen, the bottom line is that, I think there's a place for it. I think there's a place that, you can certainly do something like that. I'm sitting here thinking, if I was a snowbird, if I was up in New England area, could I get 10, 20 people up there if I had a great property in like right here in Celebration? Okay, I'm getting ready to sell my house. Could I put out to a bunch of realtors or a bunch of people up into the New England area and say, hey, half a Celebration is snowbirds. I would love to give you a tour of my property and have an open house via Zoom and let everybody see it. And is there a place for that?
I think it makes a lot of sense, Rob. Again, I've never done it, yet I would encourage you guys to make that happen. So imagine that you do a social media ad spend and you just put it in front of all kinds of people. And by the way, then you create a lookalike audience based on the people that are engaging with your ad, and you create a lookalike audience, and you start promoting this, I don't know, 4, 5, 7 days before your open house. And then you provide the Zoom meeting link to anybody and everybody who wants to join. Then you just babysit your phone. You just open up your Zoom meeting link and you just see, okay, I've got a guest in the waiting room. You let them in, introduce yourself, and then ask them what aspects of the property they're most interested in. Oh, you want to see the master bathroom? Here, let me walk you in there. I think it makes a lot of sense. Everything is going virtual, guys.
And you can pull out the drawers. You can do the lazy Susan stuff. You can show them all the nooks and crannies of the house. I just think there's something there. If all of a sudden somebody started doing it, maybe I just invented something, right? Okay, so maybe I'll do it.
Rob, I love it. I love it. And that's what I love about a mastermind, is that we learn from each other. We stretch each other's minds. And once our mind is stretched, it never goes back to its original form. No doubt about that. Rob, thanks for bringing that up. Sandy, over to you.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
I'm fantastic, Sandy. It's so good to see your smiling face.
Yeah, I went back to the 80s. I got a perm because my hair was thinning. So I just got a perm. I went back to the 80s. But
back in the 80s, I got a perm. Believe it or not, I had a mullet, you guys, that my hair, I could stretch it all the way around and touch my other ear. It was so long. And I got it permed. So it was crazy. It was short on top, long in back. And it was hilarious. So I had to look at the pictures. I'm like, did I really?
That's funny. That's funny. My daughter said, I haven't had a perm in 25 years. And my daughter goes, Mom, you went back to the 80s. I said, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I love it.
Anyway, I love what we're talking about here today in the open houses. I'm not a big fan of open houses, me personally. I know a lot of people are doing them now. But when you're going to do an open house, I think one of the major things in anything that you're doing in real estate is asking those questions and getting to know your clients. If you don't ask the questions, you can show and spend all these time at open houses and you can do all of that. But unless you are grabbing that hook and finding out something that they really want to do and what they need, and then you provide the value on what they need, not just only the open houses, but why do you need that? You know, those going questions deep. And then people are like, okay, hey, you care. You're asking a little bit more questions than, hey, let me show you this house. Let me show you this house. Well, why do you need that 4-bedroom house? Are you having another child? Oh, that's great. What are your kids' names? Then you just kind of build that rapport with people, and it's not so transactional. Because a lot of things on here, it sounds like it's just transactional, which is great if for income, but I think a little bit harder to do. One of the things that I have done, Sean, and you know this, I created my niche more in probates and trust and seniors and divorce. Yes. And it's really going well for me. I have a lady right now that has 32 properties. I'll be selling like 16 of them. We're going to do, it's just like I have a lot of, because of what I'm focusing on, people are coming to me. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing. So while open houses are great, I have a bunch of new signs and all that kind of stuff. They're not my favorite to do. I would rather find out what people's needs are and help them with that. And even if you're doing an open house, the way to find out about their needs is by asking questions.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because it's a perfect segue to what I wanted to share with you guys today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Bear with me one second. And I want to walk you through the power of questions. So what we want to do is increase our influence and our persuasion with the types of questions we ask. So you can see the pyramid here. Now, on the outside of the pyramid, you see that blue space. The type of question we ask, that little space there, is increased based on the words we start with, okay? Like, for example, the lowest energy and influence question that you could ask anyone is the why did, why are, whatever that, why did you do that? Or like, for example, let's say you broke your ankle and you go to the doctor and the doctor says, well, what happened? Well, I jumped off this retaining wall. I shouldn't have done it yet. The doctor doesn't say, why did you do that? You guys with me on that? See, if they said why did, see the why did, why are, why am, these are questions that actually suck the energy out of the relationship. It truly does. There is no energy and influence to these types of questions. Yet, as you move up the scale, you get into the what type questions, which engages the creative side of the mind, and it creates more energy, more influence. The how actually engages the creative side more, because, how would you like to accomplish that? Or how can I help you accomplish that? Or it just helps them get focused on the plan instead of the problem. Now, the who question is one of my favorite questions, right? I'm the who, not you guy. I'm the leverage guy, right, Rob? And Rob's like, yeah, Sean leverages me at a pretty high level. So it's about leverage at the end of the day. We're leveraging now through CAI, conversational artificial intelligence. It's creating hundreds of conversations every day on our behalf. And I encourage you guys to investigate that. In fact, let's next week, let's get Sean to come on, Sean Policino, and let's have him talk about CAI and how this would benefit them, their business. I mean, guys, it'll call for sale by owners, expired listings, circle prospecting. It will call probate and trust attorneys for you. It'll create conversations. It'll call your sphere of influence. It will invite people to your next customer appreciation event. It'll even now start taking inbound calls. And by the way, it never goes off script. It never calls in sick. It doesn't need to take a bathroom break or a smoke break or whatever. You don't have to give it bonuses, 401k, health insurance, none of that stuff. And yet this thing just dials for you. So who, not you? Now, interesting that the most energy and influence question that you can ask starts with the same word as the least. It's just based on context of how you're going to ask this question. So to me, the most powerful question you can ask is why is? Why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? It's the most powerful question you can ask anyone. And so I'd encourage you to do that, because logic makes them think, yet emotion makes them take action. So the why is gets to the emotional side of the equation, and then you can solve that pretty easily. No doubt about that. All right. Questions, concerns, challenges, guys. We have 4.5 minutes left. So what would you like to talk about today?
I have a question on that AI thing that you were just talking about. I've planned my first seminar for estate planning with the church. They're going to send out to their congregation that's of 1,000 people. They're going to send out all of that on their behalf. So I need to know more about that AI, because that's scheduled for January 27th.
Right on. Yeah. So Friday before last, Sandy, we had it do 500 dials. It created 124 conversations, and it set 8 appointments for us. And by the way, that took all of, including the conversation time, it took all of 10 minutes. And so we got instant optics on it, and it's going to change the way we generate leads. I'm telling you.
How do I find out more about that?
End of that. So what I'll ask you to do is, here, I'm going to put Sean Policino's cell phone number into the chat.
Okay.
And I'll just ask you guys to, just send him a quick text. Sean has a group call coming up to just discuss the CAI, again, conversational artificial intelligence. Guys, I had 8 conversations with it yesterday, because we're testing the system. And I got to tell you, I tried to stump it. I did everything that I could to make it, just mess up. And I couldn't get it to mess up. I was asking questions that we didn't even program into it.
Very cool and scary all at the same time, right? Because it's like, you got to really be careful. I don't know how many people are older on here, but one of the things I heard somebody say, that AI is so smart that you need to have code words for your family, like, because they're coming in and saying, oh, this is my granddaughter Holly. Oh, well, grandma, they got me and they need something and you need a code word. Okay, well, what's the password? If they don't know the password, they wouldn't know. So just saying, very cool, very scary all in the same sense.
It is definitely scary. And it's also kind of fun. It's never going to replace us, in my opinion. I mean, the bottom line is it can't open a lockbox, right? It can't create a relationship necessarily, yet it is going to help us generate leads at a very high level. You guys with me on this?
And what's the name of it?
We just call it CAI for Icon Coaching. So what we've done is we partnered with a technology firm who's really at the front edge of this stuff, you guys, and we've white labeled it. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars to bring this to you at just a fraction of what I've had to pay, just a fraction. It's less expensive than an AI. I'm sorry, a VA. And sorry, my phone started ringing. Guys, I would just encourage you to investigate this. I'm looking up Sean's phone number right now.
I actually texted him, but I have it. Actually, I just texted him. Let me, if it's the same, it should be the same. I can put it in for you.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Thank you, Sandy. All right.
I
So
just
right
checked.
on. So guys, we're at the cutting edge of this. We're right at the front. And I want you to be too. See, change is inevitable, yet growth is optional. Growth is optional. So do you choose to grow? If so, I want you to text Sean, find out about this. There's a small sign-up fee. You get to clone our AI agent that we've invested months into programming, and then upload your list, and it'll just call for you. And this
Woo, I
technology
love
is
that.
really frightening. And it's cool. Yet, see, your number of appointments that you create dictates the number of contracts that you complete. The number of contracts you complete dictates the level of income that you get into your bank account balance. It affects your net income, your net worth. And yet at the front end of this, I mean, if you rewound it all the way to the front, the one thing that can be controlled is the number of conversations that you guys create. And this thing can do 100,000 conversations in a minute, if you choose for it to. It's pretty frightening and it's pretty fun. So guys, we are at the bottom of the hour. Rob, you and I need to jump to the next call. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Thank you all for being here. We do this every Tuesday. Tell your friends. Seriously, tell your friends. Get them to show up. Tell the people in your RevShare organizations. Get them to show up. And until we talk again next time, just be on purpose, be productive, guys. Be powerful. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.